It's time for fun with watches with your friend, the Watchdog. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. It's time for fun with watches.
Hello, this is the Watchdog. Welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Raksa Duke 9815. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing the Huber Royal Diver. I just reviewed this watch. If you haven't seen the review yet, be sure to check it out. And Greg was on my Rebirth 8005. I just unboxed this watch. If you haven't seen the unboxing video, be sure to check it out. Grover said Dr. Pershing grew Dustin Bieber a new tooth so he could finish the album he was recording with the Max Rebo band. So Lando said, "All right, let's get this damn thing finished." But that was a huge mistake. It reminded Dustin Bieber that he had to leave and patch up his dam back home. All right, let's take a look at the watch, and it comes in a box that says Taviz. So this must be a sub-brand of Taviz. But here's the watch. It's a big one. But it is nice looking, and it really does have a very nice bracelet. This is the first Raksa Duke on my channel. I saw this on AliExpress the other day and liked the looks. I went ahead and spent the $40 that it cost, which seems to be a decent price for this watch considering the automatic movement and the solid steel fully articulating bracelet. Unfortunately, despite the claims of the ad, this is clearly a chrome-plated alloy case. This is a multifunction watch, meaning that it has all the fun-looking pushers and subdials of a chronograph, but not the cost of an automatic chronograph movement, which is still quite expensive even in AliExpress land. We don't really need chronographs, as most of us can just use our phones if we want to time something. This watch comes in 4 different colorways. I chose the blue dial with blue subdials. If you want some contrast, there's a white dial with blue subdials. If you prefer black, you can get a black dial with subdials or an all-black model. The steel bracelet is the only option. This is a big watch. It's 44 millimeters at the bezel, 52 millimeters lug to lug, and it has protruding end links. It's 13.2 millimeters thick, which isn't too bad. The lug width does not apply, but it's 25 millimeters where the bracelet meets the case and tapers down to 22 at the clasp. And it's heavy. It weighs 179 grams on the solid steel bracelet with one link removed. Then we have the bezel. The bezel is plated, you can tell. They claim that this is a steel watch, but just look at that shine to the brushwork. That screams plated alloy. But it's a nice looking bezel. And then we have the dial. It's a teak dial. And we have the Raksa Duke name on the right there, and it says automatic. Then we do have the minute markers with sub-minutes and seconds. And then we have the indices, and these are not loomed, and they're applied batons. Then we have the hands. We have a stick, minute, and hour hand, and then just a thin needle. Second hand. Then we have a date at the 3 with the border. And then we have the subdials. The bottom subdial is a 24-hour hand. The left subdial is the day of the week. And the top subdial is the month. Then we have a unsigned push-pull crown. And then we have the pushers. These little hexagons here look like locks, but they're not. They're just props. But the pushers do work. The top pusher changes the day of the month. The top pusher changes the month, and the bottom pusher changes the day of the week. And you need to use the same caution as you would with any other movement with the day date. You just make sure you don't change the date after 9 o'clock and before 4. Just make sure your hour is in the safe zone. Then we have the crystal. Crystal's mineral glass. Nothing special about it. It does the job. And then we have the case. Once again, they claim steel, but they are wrong. Just look at it. You can see the brushing and just see that shine to the brushing. That just screams plating. Now, it's fairly nice plating. Sometimes it just looks horrible when you have brush plated, but this doesn't look too bad. These end links, though, they're fixed. They're part of the case. You can't remove them. Then we have the case back. Case back's a press-on because you only get 30 meters, and it is a display. Then it says steel back, which is another good, stainless steel back, which is another good tell that the rest is not. Then it says water resistant, meaning you only get your 30. And there you have the signed rotor for the movement. Underneath the case back, I don't know the movement. It does have a unidirectional rotor, so it's probably a Chinese clone of an 8215 or one of the variants, because it definitely has that secondhand stutter of a 8000 series Miyota. So we'll go ahead and put it on the Timegrapher and see how it's doing. Here it is on the Timegrapher. It took me several attempts to get this thing to read this watch correctly. I didn't put the little cleaning cloth on it, and it was too sensitive. It was giving me ridiculous numbers, but now it looks pretty stable. Looks like we're running about 12 seconds fast, which isn't horrible. And looks like we have 0.6 milliseconds of beat error, though. So we got quite a bit of beat error. And I didn't know the lift angle. And like I said, I had just assumed it was a Miyota clone. So I set the lift angle to 49 degrees. But that's probably not correct because that amplitude looks a little bit high. So ignore the amplitude. But no, it seems to be running fairly stable. The bracelet's really nice. It's fully articulating that it has these little connector links, and it's nicely finished, brushed on top, polished on the sides, has a signed butterfly clasp, Raksa Duke with their logo, and we have push pins, not screw pins. But I'm perfectly happy with push pins. I never have to worry about them coming out of me like I do screw pins. So yeah, very happy with the bracelet. Of course, like I mentioned before, though, the end links are part of the case. So if you want to get another bracelet for it, or strap, I mean, here's a strap designed for a Royal Oak, and it looks like it would fit. So you could probably put it on a strap if you wanted to. Of course, you'll have to get, this has just your basic push pins holding it on. You'll have to get something that would stay in a plastic rubber strap, or you could just maybe put some Loctite on the pin. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice. It wears nice. It's a big watch. Unfortunately, though, I only removed one link, though. So 7 3/4 is the best you're going to do without more links. And I don't know on a $40 watch if you can ask for more links or not. So if you can't ask for more links, you would have to buy 2 of them and rip the links off of one and put the other one on a strap. So I don't know if you'd want to do that, because that would get kind of costly for this watch. Here we are in the loom room. Only the 2 major hands are loomed, and poorly at that, so I am not expecting much for this test. As we speed up the time, we see a decent glow at first, but everything starts fading fairly fast, with the minute hand being a bit weaker than the hour hand, and very soon both will be gone. This is very poor loom indeed. What I like about this watch, it looks and wears nice. I like this solid steel, fully articulating bracelet. And I do like this teak dial. I think it gives it a good look. What are my gripes and groans? The bracelet is too short. I only removed 1 link. Only the major hands are loomed, and poorly at that. And it only has 30 meters of water resistance and no locks on the pushers. So that means you're probably not going to take this into the pool. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. For $40, you're getting quite a bit of watch with a wonderful bracelet. I just wish the bracelet was longer. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Raksa Duke 9815, and I will be back with another review or unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this watch, I'll leave an affiliate link, and if you purchase it through that link, I'll get a tiny commission, and those tiny commissions do add up. And I'd like to thank my Members Choice members. Last time I looked, there was 11 of you, and it looks like all 11 of you have viewed the Members Choice watch, because I see 11 views on it. So hopefully I'll get that reviewed within a week. And then after everybody sees the review, I'll put it up for sale, and then we'll get another vote out. Bye.